Hi Aquarius, I hope that you're all doing well. Before we get into it, I'm hearing something about start the season or starting the season. Before we get into it, let's set the intention for this to be a space where everyone allows themselves to feel seen and validated, and ultimately for this to be a safe space and a healing space in alignment with everyone's highest good. It looks to me like you are being called in a particular direction. And this could be something that you're being encouraged to take a leap of faith, / a leap of faith is necessary in order for you to move in this direction. And that may be a little bit intimidating or scary, even because it would be something new for you potentially, or land or an area of your life that you haven't explored. This could also be something that's somewhat unexpected or spontaneous. We're starting off with the Ten of Pentacles. So the Ten of Pentacles, it's like starting in a space where you feel pretty solid with something. Feel like there's a sense of security. This can even be like with a group of people that you associate with, like maybe feeling like you have a solid like circle or support from family or something like that. I know that's not everybody's story, but there's something here about the Ten of Pentacles and Three of Cups. We're going to get further, because I did see the Seven of Swords on the bottom of the deck. I get the feeling of like being really solid in an area of your life, and so you may be tempted to kind of like jump out and do something spontaneous, but this could be also part of you that's like, you know what, I feel like I'm building something solid and I'm working on creating that for myself. Like, do I want to go in this direction where something could potentially distract me from this? Because I'm seeing this kind of be like a temptation. That's sort of the vibe that I'm getting. It's like you've been trying to like build this like Lego structure up very nicely, and now like somebody that you know or like a friend of a friend is coming through, and they may kind of throw off something that you're doing. This can mean too like somebody wanting to connect with you, and you may feel like your agenda is different than this person's agenda, because if you're coming from a space where you feel quite stable, this person may in a way take you out of that. But maybe it's also something that you want, or maybe it's something that you don't want. This feels like a moment where there's somebody within your environment that you are attracted to, and maybe had considered pursuing something with them, or like they're pursuing you and they want to get together with you, something like that. And this may at one point in time have been a wish fulfillment. However, with the Ten of Swords, I am seeing something come to an end. So maybe it's not something that you want anymore. Maybe this is something from the past. If this was something that did happen, it looks like it would have been very short-lived. It's kind of like you want something, you go after it, you get it, and then it's done. One of those numbers. But now you may be left feeling a bit confused about what's going on. If you have unresolved feelings about this or confusion about it, it may be something that is going to hook you back in. Because I'm even seeing somebody that If this was somebody that, like, say you were hooking up with them, I'm seeing it be very, very unofficial. It's like they're part of the friend group or something like that, or like associated with the friend group. I'm not seeing this be anything official, and I'm seeing it be a moment where, like, impulsively you may have wanted to go after something, and maybe you even did, but it was very, very short-lived, and maybe you thought that things would end up lasting longer, but there's some sort of confusion about the ending, or some, like, unresolved emotions when it comes to that. There's, like, a lack of closure. As I said before, there's potential for you to get, if you do not resolve this on your own, there's potential for you to get sucked back into this scenario. Because I'm seeing somebody that wants to get together and have a good time. However, I'm not seeing somebody be committed. And also, at times, that can be something that we want. However, if you are not looking for something short-lived and you are not looking to be juggled, that may have been something that did happen, and maybe something that you also don't want to happen again with this person. It even seems like needing to temper something that you could be feeling impulsively, you may want to do. Some of you worked with this person. So I'm getting this notion where it's like things came to an end. Things are unresolved on the emotional front. There's a possibility for you to get sucked back into this. What I'm getting, your guides want you to know, is that if you do end up entering back into this space, doing the dance again with this person, rather than finding clarity and resolve, it looks like it is going to be even more confusing. Like, it looks like confusion is going to be added on top of the confusion that you already feel. But I am seeing something that you're considering. However, you're also in a space where you're like, do I want to go back into that? Do I want to feel like this again? Do I want to even have that feeling be more intense? So there's even something here that you're, like, negotiating with you and yourself, and possibly even another person. It's like, do I move back into working with them? Is that something that I want? Can also be about collaborating with someone. It's like, do we work together again? Or, like, do we bring this back to life again? What do we do? Your guides are telling you to have the strength to use your discernment and prioritize your needs. Because it may not have been easy to end things with this person, and there's a necessity here. It looks very much like the ending with this person was in alignment, so it may actually be out of alignment to bring things back into focus with them. I'm hearing, and make it the centerpiece of the conversation. So this may be something that, like, it may not be easy to leave it alone or leave it buried in the ground, but it seems like that's what the guidance is with this person. As I said before, it could be a work thing. It doesn't have to be, but it definitely can be for some of you. It's like maybe somebody you worked with that was also potentially part of your, like, social circle. Or a group of people that you had some sort of common interest with. If you are in the place of thinking about your duties and responsibilities and coming at it from that space where you're thinking about your stability, your long-term stability, what you're creating for yourself, you reaching your personal goals, I don't think that this is something that you're going to play around with much longer. There's a moment of recognizing, like, hey, this doesn't give me the type of satisfaction that I'm looking for. It's not going to be long-standing. And so it's not even worth it to me. but that part of you that may be like impulsively drawn to this, you may feel like you're having a little bit of turmoil because of that. I'm even seeing it be a moment where you were like thinking about giving this person the chance, and then you see how they show up and how they come through, and it's like some sort of immediate even red flag, and you're like, I gotta get out of here, I gotta move away from this. It's like maybe you thought that maybe things had changed or that they would give you what you're looking for, and then you realize very quickly that they're just bringing a very hectic energy into your life. And it seems too like by moving away from this, you're going to feel like you've regained a sense of autonomy that maybe you didn't feel like you had. I'm hearing when you were dueling with this person, it feels like when you were within a dynamic with this person, it's one of those moments where like you guys have two very different agendas, and so when you come together you see like the clashing of that energetically. So things don't feel peaceful. It doesn't feel like you're working towards the same goal. There's an erratic sort of energy here. And this is a moment where you can be like, I'm taking back my storyline, and maybe I don't know where exactly this is going to lead me, and maybe I don't know how I step into this, but I'm going to go in this direction anyway because I want to be the one that is like dictating the direction that I'm going in. I'm hearing plans about. I'm seeing some sort of plan that's being made. I'm also seeing the High Priestess come through. So maybe you're also, this is like touch and go, and you're like checking in with your intuition or checking in with like a medium or something like that, or like your own intuitive psychic abilities, and then making a plan. And I'm seeing something here about needing to set boundaries and making progress with taking things slowly and using your discernment in a way that's benefiting you, and also looking out for what you are doing and creating and manifesting long term within your life. So let's talk about this. This can be a coworker, a past coworker. It can be a job. It can be anybody who would resemble the King of Pentacles. Also any sort of interpersonal relationship. But I'm seeing a particular individual that's like, hey, you want to get together, you want to get back together, you want to reconnect, even though things have ended with this person. I'm seeing them come through and reach out. And they may possibly be playing off, like whether they mean to or not, off of the fact that the door was maybe not fully shut, emotionally speaking. But I'm seeing you get to a place where you're like, you know what, I'm actually not interested in that, because I know from a fulfillment perspective, I'm not going to get what I want from your inconsistent energy. Because there's a sense of being like, this person is just going to play around. I'm seeing somebody that you don't really get a straight answer from. It's like they pop up when it's convenient, then they disappear when they want to. Again, like I'm not seeing it be malintent. It's kind of just like what you're looking for within your life and how this person is living. What you guys want just clash instead of complementing one another. And so I'm seeing you get to a point where you're like, this does not breed the type of stability that I want within my life. And I want to work with somebody that shows up and somebody that's accountable. And I recognize that what I need to do here for me is to have the strength to end something so I don't have to continue being stuck in this karmic loop here. I'm looking at Leo and Pisces. Here you are. For some of you, you may have already shut the door on this, but this person doesn't know. Traveling into the unknown. As I said before in the beginning of the reading, there's a notion of you being encouraged to take a leap of faith. With the Eight of Wands, this is like going in the direction that the Fool is calling you into, which means wiping the slate clean. This also means if you're getting out of a karmic loop, this means that you're going to be starting like new cycles with new people rather than replaying things with that past person. So the question is really about if the cycle is just going to repeat itself with that person. Is that something that you want? Did you like the way that things went with them? And there's no right or wrong here. It's all about like preference and what you're willing to do at the end of the day. Willing, like manifesting. Did you like how things went? Is it something that you'd want to do again? Or is it something that you want to clear out the cycle of and go in a new direction and continue exploring? Because it's like, that was just one room. We want to go explore the rest of the house now and see what's here. Because I'm seeing just this like vast openness be available to you now. As soon as you slide away from this situation, as soon as you commit to going in this direction, this new direction, I'm looking at the High Priestess. Maybe you're also gaining awareness, too, of a cycle that you had been stuck in for reasons that were not in alignment with your highest good. Because I'm even seeing you kind of get the scope on something that maybe you hadn't been seeing before. It's like this awareness now. For some of you too, this is also about discovering, maybe in a deeper sense, the desire for validation even. Because that could have been something that you felt with that person. Even like in a physical way, in a sexual way, stuff like that. But even feeling like something was compromised by being with them that maybe you don't want to compromise anymore. Because it may have even been something where, like, with the Devil, it's about attachments, right? It has so many different faces. And the type of relationship dynamic that you were in before with that person could have been something where you were, like, relying on them for, like, let's say validation, right? And it feels good because you're getting it within that moment. However, you're going about it in a way where rather than you validating yourself and finding and developing that within yourself, there's a sense of like relying on something outside of you to give you something that you wanted, and then not being able to, not thinking that you're able to recreate that for yourself when you actually are able and capable of doing that. But that's the illusion, that you need somebody else to validate you, or to make you feel good, or to call you attractive, or whatever it is, and feeling like you're not, whatever it is that you want to be, that you can't be that if you don't have that person. And as I said before, that's really the illusion of it all. So this is about finding something for yourself rather than seeking it externally. And you could have also been in a position too where you were like, well, even though I'm getting scraps of something that I want and not like the whole real thing, if I move away, then I'm not going to have anything. But it's about like getting out of that mindset, and rather than making a decision based off of fear to empower yourself instead. Because that's also something that severs ties with your intuition as well. When you're acting out of like fear or depravity or a poverty mindset rather than empowering yourself. I'm seeing it be a notion like this too. When you find what you need within yourself, when it comes to like that confidence that you feel about you, about who you are, without having to like perform or give something, when you just feel like you find that innate value within yourself, just being you, without having to give anybody anything or do anything or perform in a certain way, you move to a space where you understand the type of relationship that you want and what you can actually have. And you give yourself the opportunity to discover the type of harmony within a dynamic that you are actually seeking. And it all starts with you and your relationship with yourself, and then it expands to the people around you. I'm definitely feeling ties to the last Aquarian reading as well, about like seeing the Two of Cups for what it really is, and it's this union of you and yourself first and foremost, before it's a union with you and anybody outside of you. The union of the yin and the yang energy, and feeling like you are complete by yourself and that you don't need anybody else to complete you. And when you have that foundation and that self-awareness and that self-love and that value of self, then you can go on to wrap your head around what it takes to manifest the type of relationship that you're actually looking for, because you've reached a form of enlightenment about what it is that you want to build towards long term. And you undergo the transformation. This is also about, so the Hanged Man, it's about meditating, it's about reflecting, it's about thinking about something and understanding it from a zoomed out point of view to the point of reaching enlightenment, especially when it comes to the things that we manifest into our lives, whether that be consciously or subconsciously. It's about gaining awareness of everything that we invite, everything that we allow into our lives. And it seems like the things that you've been inviting and allowing and manifesting into your life, it's going through a big change right now, because of what you're realizing, because of what you're seeing, because of what you're learning, because of what you're knowing, because of what you're remembering. And strengthening that bond between you and your emotions, how you're reacting physically to things, what your intuition is telling you. Even feeling in a way like emotionally you are being reborn. And feeling very connected with yourself. Once you come out on the other side of this too, the way that the cards landed is that the Knight of Pentacles landed over the Death card. Now, the Death card is about transformation, and as I said before, about like you manifesting things differently. And over the Magician came the Nine of Pentacles. The Nine of Pentacles is about like working hard to have something come to fruition, right? And it's like this proposal, this offer, maybe that you're hoping for, potentially from another person. Whatever this is for you that you are looking for to have, looking to have enter into your life, this thing that you want. It's like what was coming through before is going through a change, and a different type of offer is going to be coming through. And that is what's going to come to fruition of what you are manifesting now, because you are manifesting in a new way, in a different way. Because you are developing, because you are changing, which also means that your frequency is changing. So it means like the quality and the types of relationships that you are attracting in are also going to be changing too. As you raise your vibration, so do your relationships. So I'm seeing you go into a space where the way that you had seen reciprocity before is undergoing this change. There are things that you're realizing that you hadn't realized before, things that you're seeing that you hadn't seen before. I'm looking at Uranus, the Moon, Capricorn, Mercury, and Scorpio. Now I'm seeing you be in a place where you're like, I'm going to have faith, I'm going to take a chance, I'm going to wipe this off of the table, that voice that tells me I can't manifest what I want or that I'm not good enough, whatever it is for you, and you being like, I have everything that I need to manifest what I want into my life. And if I am listening to my intuition, it is going to lead me towards the type of relationship that I want long term. It's going to help me create the type of stability that I want, which also means that my relationships are going to look different than they had in the past. It's not going to have that element that always leaves me wanting. So there's something big being realized, and within that sense of awareness, it is also being healed. And there's a notion of deciding to go in a direction of something that motivates you for the right reasons that are in alignment with your highest good, and your feelings and your intuition all being on the same page, and you feeling confident and you feeling self-aware and you valuing yourself. And because of that union and marriage and harmony that unites, when you unite like all of the different fragmented aspects of yourself and bring everything all together, you will then see that reflected through seemingly an offer or a relationship that is going to be showing up for you, something that is going to be coming through. So it's like, because you did this work to unite this with you and yourself, now you can also have a union that will reflect that for you, and that offer coming to fruition. And on the bottom of the deck, I'm looking at the Ace of Swords, which is like an epiphany, the truth. And I'm seeing the Lovers here. Happiness, your pursuit of happiness, something that feels very fulfilling with another person, something that you feel very empowered by, and the karmic unfolding of it all. All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everybody for joining. Thank you for tuning in. I'm wishing everybody love and light and healing, and I hope to catch you guys next time.